Hello, good morning everyone. Most especially to our teacher, Dr. Nikitia Albiduya. And for now, I'm going to share it with you my final video report, which is entitled Terms and Types of Counseling. So for me to start, there are 10 terms and types of counseling. So the first one, which is the short-term counseling. Okay, so in short-term counseling, it is used in situational crisis in which disruption of life is occurred. Then it focuses the concern of the client. So in short-term counseling, it is more focused with the client, and it needs immediate response, action or attention. Yes, and counselor must assist the client and guides problem solving in a systematic way. So when we say systematic way, it is orderly and organized and related to the concerned issues or problems of the client. And counselor can share problem solving abilities with the client. So the second term or types, which is the long-term counseling. So long-term counseling, it extends over a prolonged period of time. So when we say prolong, it is extended duration with the concerned issues of the client. And then example that needs long-term counseling, which is a client who experiences developmental crisis. So it may need long-term counseling. Okay, so the third one is the elective counseling. So elective counseling, counselor will make use both directive and non-directive. So when we say directive, the counselor means intended to give instructions to the client, and the non-directive, which means to refrain the interpretation or explanations, but the counselors encourages the client to talk freely. Okay, so the second meaning of the elective counseling, it is nature, because they have been derived from all sources of counseling, selecting the best and leaving out what is the least required. And the third one is the counselor in elective counseling may alternate between directive and non-directive counseling technique. Okay, so there are some steps in elective counseling. So the first one, counseling starts with the interview. So of course, if you are the counselor and you have the counselee, so you need to know first her name, age, or shall we say in other words, getting to know each other first before you can proceed to the next step. So the second steps, counselor tries to establish rapport with the counselee. So when we say rapport, so it is a friendly approach to the counselee, or it is a harmonious relationship with the client. So the third one is counselor studies the personality and needs of the individual. Information may be gathered from different sources and case-to-case history. So the fourth one is tentative diagnosis is made based on case history, and a plan for counseling is formulated. So client needs has to be helped to assimilate this information. Okay, so assimilate, it is meaning to sink in or to understand thoroughly the given situation or the problems. In the 6 steps, client achieves emotional release and insights after his perception and attitudes about himself and his situation. So during the closing phase, the client makes decisions already and plans, modifies behavior, and solves his problems. So, if needed, the counselor may follow up or contact with the counselee, and it can be planned. Okay, so the next one is the clinical counseling. So diagnosis and treatment of mind function maladjustments and to find better adjustment and self-expression. So here in clinical counseling, so primarily individual or the counselor and the client must be in face to face. So the study of the individual as a unique whole, specific behaviors are observed, of course, and its specific traits may be inferred. But the goal here in clinical counseling is particularly individual. So it describes also the problem and also suggests the solutions or any remedies for the problems. So it includes training, actual practices in diagnosis, treatments, prevention, and research. So next is the psychological counseling. So when we say psychological counseling, they rely on conversation between client and the therapist. So this may take in the form of question and answer portion. So reconstruction of past history or the discussion of current difficulties. And it consists of catharsis or an emotion-laden monologue by the patient or the therapist make an initiative in making patient to speak out or repress feelings and emotions. Okay, so as a therapist or as a counselor, so we must also give encouragement or hope to our patients or client, and also we can add more informations or advice to them. So the next one is the psychotherapeutic counseling. So it assists the person to modify attitudes and emotions which the subjects are aware of the personality organization. So person also help to attain higher level of personal and social development. Okay, so the next one is the student counseling. So in student counseling, we are almost familiar to this one because in school we can observe this and encounter. So it is concerned with the help of students to solve their problems pertaining the choice of educational institutions, their courses, methods of studies, adjustment in their studies, vocational choice, and many to mention. So it deals with total personality of the individual. So it connects directly to the needs of the individual in a personal contact situation. Okay, so the next types or terms of counseling, which placement counseling. So placement, this is more common when we are finding any jobs. So counselor will advise to the counselee or to her client in regard to jobs and posts which are suitable to the client, and it is also depend upon his abilities or attitudes and interest to his job. And next is the marriage counseling. So advice and help in selecting the suitable spouse. Yes, this is to identify positive aspects of relationship as well as those cause conflict. So it focuses on the need of each partner to understand the point of view and feelings of the others. So to solve the problems related to marriage. Last one is the vocational counseling. So procedure centered about the problem of selecting a vocation and preparing for it. So if any problem arise within the specific vocation, so necessary steps carried out to solve the problem. So it gives also greater control over his own future actions. So client also is helped to improve all around the development and help the individual to develop skills and efficiency. Okay, so in addition to my topic is guidance and counseling. So the meaning of guidance and counseling. First, the introduction. It is a vital aspect in higher education, and it helps also the individual in becoming useful member in society. And education without guidance, of course, it's not complete, and the person is unable to develop his personality fully and thus unable to serve society by his talents and abilities. Okay, so from the word guidance, so the root word for that is guide. So guide means to seek. Other term is that is to lead or to direct, to point out and to indicate something. So, the definition of the guidance is a process of dynamic interpersonal relationship designed to influence good attitudes and subsequent behavior of a person. So, guidance, it is also an assistance made by available by personally qualified and adequately trained personnel to an individual of any age to help him manage his own life activities. So it is also to develop his own point of view and make his own decisions and carry his own burden. Okay, so according to this person, GM Brewer, so guidance is a process through which an individual is able to solve their problems and pursue a path suited to their abilities and aspirations. So, according also to the educational point of view, so guidance is an educational service designed to help students make more effective use of the school's training and programs. In addition to the meaning of the guidance, so guidance is it is some form of help or assistance to an individual to solve their problems. So it helps a person to decide where he wants to go or what he wants to do and how best he can reach his goals, his or her goals. So it is also a promotion of growth of individual in self direction. So it is a guide. Attainment of self direction by an individual. So it is also a process of learning. So unending learning, helping and effecting changes in an individual. So process of helping every individual through his own efforts to discover and develop his potentialities or abilities for her personal happiness and social usefulness. So it is also a process of assisting an individual to find his place, rather. And it helps to establish an effective relationship between his total educational experiences or his personal needs and potentialities. So, guidance also is a process of assisting to adjust. And guidance, it can be educational or vocational. So, it provides also physical and mental health. So, well-rounded social development. So, guidance covers the whole extent of youth problems. So guidance also is a remedial. So orientation and developmental. Guidance is individualized education. So individual. More focus on individual. So guidance helps individual to adjust to environment. Yes, adjust or adapt. So guidance aids in the identification and development of abilities and interest of pupils. Okay, so let's move forward to the meaning of counseling. So counseling, it is a specialized service of guidance and basically an enabling process. So designed to help an individual come to terms with his life and grow to greater maturity through learning to take responsibilities and to make decisions for herself. So counseling also is the helping relationship that includes someone seeking help, someone willing to give help, someone who is capable or trained to help in a setting that permits help given and received. So counseling also is not giving only informations. True information may be present. So counseling is not giving also an advice. So counseling, it's not the influencing of attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors by persuading, admonishing, threatening, or compelling without the use of physical force. So counseling also not the selection and assignment of individuals to jobs, and counseling is not interviewing. Through interviewing is involved. Okay, so let's proceed to the benefits of guidance and counseling. So there are two kinds or two types of benefits. So individual benefits and the societal benefits. So let's go to the first one. So of course, here in individual benefits, academic growth and vocational development, personal and social development. So like for example, the teacher or the counselor handling guidance and counseling services. So not only should know the pupils or their clients, know their subjects or know their problems, but also should understand the needs of the clients, the needs of the students, their abilities and capabilities, interest and their students, and struggles to bring all round development of personality of their clients or of their students. So, second is the societal benefits. So, include proper utilization of human resources. So, to provide good nursing care to needy clients. So, those who are need or urgent need, attaining good citizenship by acquiring required intelligence, integrity, honesty, the right attitudes, social values, habits, social responsibilities, and have a better family relationships by better adjustment by building better relationship within the family. So one of the most important areas in education which has acquired considerable importance and received much attention in recent years is guidance and counseling. So guidance and counseling ensures a healthy climate in the institution, which is essential for the harmonious and integrated personality development of students or clients. Okay, so after hearing my topic, let's proceed to the difference between guidance and counseling. So guidance, it is an organized service to identify and develop the potentialities of pupils or clients. Comprehensive information about all the students is collected with the help of different test tools. So while the counseling, information is given to solve their problems. So counseling, there is information already. So guidance, it is preventive and developmental. So it can be done by any guidance worker or it may be given at any normal setup. So it is an integral part of education and assist in fulfilling its aims. So, distributive phase focus on educational and vocational and occupational problems. So while the counseling, it is information is given already to solve their problems, and it is also preventive and developmental, but the additional is it can be remedial. Requires a high level of skill as well as specialization or special professional training. So requires also special setup counseling room to conduct interviews. So this is needed in all fields. Adjustive phase emphasis on social, personal, and emotional problems of an individual. So more on focus on psychological issues. Okay, so I think that could be all. Thank you. Keep safe and God bless everyone.